it's time to be real, guys. Anyway. Hello, welcome back to my channel. How are you? I hope you are doing well. Today I wanted to do a video that has been so highly requested on my Instagram. This is probably the most asked question that I get literally ever on my Instagram, on my TikTok, literally everywhere. How do you dress like that? Where do you buy your clothes? Teach me how to dress like you do. And first of all, I want to say that I am nowhere near an expert. I've just been dressing how I want for the past like 2 years now. It seems that a lot of people like it, and I feel like I found a little community of people that are like me, and I love it. So today I am here to give you all of my knowledge, give you everything that's in my little brain about how to dress like you're from the 70s. I had this little guide that I wrote out. I actually wrote this out like a couple of months ago because I was going to film this a while back, but then I just never got around to it. I'm going to take you through my step-by-step guide on how to dress vintage. If you want to follow my Instagram and my TikTok, they are exactly the same username as my one here on YouTube. You can do that. I get a lot of DMs about YouTube videos, I get a lot of questions and stuff on my Instagram. I just want to say that I'm going to be saying dressing vintage and using it as sort of like a blanket term for like 60s and 70s. I wouldn't specifically say that I have a particular like era that I dress to. I like the late 60s, the whole hippie movement of the late 60s. I like the early 70s. I like the psychedelic sort of revolution that happened. I like the whole, you know, the Fool, the Apple Boutique, all of that, those colours and stuff. But then I also have elements of like mod fashion and, you know, late 70s fashion. So there's a bit of a mix of everything. So when I say vintage, just know that it's sort of anything from like 1964 to like 1977. That's sort of my, that's the years. Anyway, step one is research. And I know that sounds boring and I know it sounds daunting, but it's actually one of my favourite things to do, is to sit on Pinterest, make Pinterest boards full of outfits that I really like. That's sort of originally how I found the kind of clothes that I would want to be buying and wearing. Pinterest is literally your best friend. Pinterest and Instagram is the best place to be looking for inspiration and doing your research on different styles. Originally mine was Instagram. I followed Millie, Connie and Gia. They were the first 3 Instagram vintage girlies that I followed, and they were my inspiration. They were my research. They were what made me realise, damn, I really like the way that looks. And all 3 of them have a slightly different style of 60s and 70s inspired clothing, that's their individual thing, and that's how I found my individual thing. There are so many different subcategories of vintage. You've got mod, you've got psychedelic, you've got disco, you've got Woodstock hippie, you've got that witchy Stevie Nicks sort of vibe, you've got rocker, you've got casual 70s. You've literally got so many different types of like era and style, and you can do with them whatever you want. You can mix and match. There might be one that you are like really drawn to. Like for me, I'm really drawn to like psychedelic sort of era. Like I say, you can mix and match, you can combine them all, you can do whatever you will. I think that is, for me, was the first thing that I was like, you know, I just sort of looked at all these different types of ways of dressing and sort of realised like I'm not so much into the mod thing, but I have a few little pieces that I really like from the mod era. Make a Pinterest board. Make a big fat Pinterest board of all the outfits that you like, and then you'll kind of just see like what is similar in all of them. Sometimes I literally take screenshots of outfits that I like on Instagram and I post them on my Pinterest board so that it's all in one place. So like, just make a Pinterest board. That's all the research you need. Another thing that I would suggest in your research phase, in your step 1 phase, is finding a colour palette that you think you want to stick to. You don't have to stick to it forever, obviously, but finding a colour palette that you think works for you and you think, you know, you look good in is a really good first step. So for me personally, I really like reds, oranges, yellows, anything like that, because of my hair colour. I think it suits my hair, I think it suits my skin, and I just really like those colours, and I started mostly with just those colours because I knew that I could work with them. If you're not 100% sure on dressing in that style, go for that style but in a colour that makes you feel comfortable. Do you know what I mean? So that was my colour palette, and now I've started to branch out into like, you know, the psychedelic colours. I wear a lot of greens and purples and yellow, like mix and match together, and it's cool to then, once you've found your style in your preferred colour palette, you can then incorporate other colours. So step 2 is outfit inspo. I've basically covered this one already, but Pinterest board. I would say Pinterest and Instagram, as I've said before, are your main best friends, the places that you're going to find most of your outfit inspo. But following a bunch of people on Instagram with the same style that you want to like create on yourself is the best inspiration, because then you see all these different outfits and you're like, wow, I can give that a go. So I've written down a bunch of names that I'm going to tell you that you should follow if this is the kind of style that you're wanting to go for. Connie, absolute dream, love her. Her eye makeup literally blows my mind every time. I wish I could do my makeup like that. Millie was literally the reason that I started my Instagram. It's crazy. It was, for some reason, I was so drawn to her content and so drawn to her outfits that she was the reason that I decided to start posting. And now she's one of my besties, and it's so weird because like I'll go and stay at her house, or like we'll FaceTime and I'm looking at her and I'm like, you're my Instagram crush. And now you're my best friend. But Millie, her outfits are always so freaking good. Gia as well. Oh my god, every time this girl posts, I like faint. She's bloody, her outfits are stunning. If you're looking for like something that you would never think to put together as an outfit, Gia is the queen of like colour matching. Oh my goodness. Avery, I absolutely love Avery's style, especially now that she's moved to the UK. She's very mod, and like I don't think I could pull mod off, but she's definitely more of the mod style if you're interested in that. But she also dresses very hippie. She's really good. She's really, really good at what she does. Izzy's outfits are always spot on. She really rocks the like casual, like looks like she's just walked out of the 70s vibe, and I love that. Caitlin is another one whose outfits I look at and I'm like, how I could never ever imagine putting something like that together. She's like pattern mixing queen. It's insane. Sarah is another one who was one of my first, like I followed her and I loved her outfits, and now we've become quite good friends. She's really, really good at like just putting together such a cute casual 70s outfit. It's insane. Amy, the little Sharon Tate 60s queen, I adore the way she dresses. Her eye makeup always looks stunning. She's got a bit of that like mid 60s vibe as well. Definitely very like Sharon Tate, Twiggy sort of inspired, if that's what you're going for. Kennedy is so creative with her looks. You'll never find a look of Kennedy that is boring. So creative, it's insane. Sid is everything I want to be. Oh my god, do you know how badly I just want to be her best friend? It's crazy. Again, good at the casual, like I just live in the 70s. She's just amazing. And that is just to name a few. I have so many other girls that I follow and like idolize. I couldn't put all of them in here because we would be here forever. I 100% recommend you go and follow all of these girls and go to them for inspiration. The amount of times I've been like, oh, I don't know what to wear today, and I'll go to Instagram and look through their pages and be like, I'm gonna recreate that outfit. Which leads me on to step 3, which is shopping. This is the fun part. You've made your Pinterest board, you found your Instagram girly, and you found the outfit that you're gonna try and recreate. You found a couple of outfits that you're like, I'm gonna get pieces that I can make these outfits with. Now, one thing I want to say about 60s and 70s fashion, it does not have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be crazy big like labels. It doesn't have to be super expensive. It doesn't have to be genuine vintage. You can make a vintage looking outfit with literally anything. Well, maybe not literally anything. Maybe not like a tracksuit, but you know what I mean. A lot of your vintage staples you can find in charity shops, and that is kind of where I started. This was one of my very first vintage outfits, inspired outfits. I found the skirt in a charity shop, I found the coat on Depop for like £10, I found the shirt in a charity shop, and my boyfriend bought me the boots for like £15 off Amazon. Again, this was another one of my early vintage inspired outfits. The brown coat I got from a charity shop, the brown boots I got from a charity shop, the shirt underneath I got from a charity shop. You don't have to be buying like crazy expensive true vintage things. So I'm just going to give you a couple of staples that you can look for when you're looking for vintage pieces, when you're looking for the basics to put in your wardrobe to make vintage inspired outfits. Do you know what I mean? Starting with bottoms, flares, and you're good to go. Anything straight leg, straight and flared, boot cut, you could probably make work. My favourite trousers are the Free People float-on flares, because they're the biggest flare and I love them so much. And you can get them on Depop, you can get them on Vinted. You don't need to buy them directly from Free People because they can be very expensive on that website. High-waisted as well with your trousers. A very high-waisted, wide leg, dark wash jean was quite a popular thing. Also, hot pants. Hot pants was quite a thing in, especially with like 60s go-go dancers and stuff. You can get like modern day hot pants that look very vintage. Skirts. Mini skirt, 100% all the time, all the way mini skirts. I have a very specific like length of mini skirt. Like if it's an inch too long, it just doesn't feel right to me. Mini skirts were such a staple of the 60s and the 70s. The miniskirt revolution happened in the 60s, so miniskirts are definitely a go-to. Anything suede, button-up, corduroy miniskirts, they're all so cute and vintage looking. I would say for a miniskirt, I think a brown button-up is like a good staple to go for, and you can find a lot of them in charity shops. You could also go for a micro mini if you're not too worried about getting your butt out a little bit. I think micro minis are super cute. I love micro mini dresses and mini skirts and stuff, so. But also, if you're not so much a mini skirt, midi skirts were a big thing. Look at Camilla from Daisy Jones and the Six, a 70s boho queen with her looks, and she wore a lot of midi skirts. So, and also maxi. The whole like 70s prairie look is such a cute look. So you're not limited to just mini skirts. So in terms of dresses, again, you've got mini dresses, this sort of mod looking mini dress, or you've got like the micro mini. Again, stunning. They had a lot of specific like silhouettes for the 60s and 70s. One silhouette of a dress that I really want is the like space age like cut out sides mini dress. I think it's so cute. I've never found one of them and I'm still looking. Again though, maxi dresses and prairie dresses were a big thing, so you don't have to go for mini if you're not comfortable with that. Pinafore dresses were very big in the 60s with like a turtleneck underneath, super cute, super vintage. Jumpsuits and playsuits were also being thrown around in the 60s and 70s. I think all-in-one jumpsuits with like flared legs are super like 70s looking. I think they're so cute. So in terms of tops, I feel like this is a lot of things. It's like this could be anything, but like I say, get a Pinterest board going. But this is just my opinions. Button-ups, button-up shirts with like funky collars, funky sleeves, cool patterns. Button-up shirts are a big thing. I'm not a huge fan of button-up shirts, but I've now found that I love a button-up with a big collar and like a tight cuff but a big balloon sleeve. That is my favourite. Turtlenecks. I cannot stress enough how much turtlenecks just make any outfit look vintage. I wear like a mini skirt and a turtleneck and feel like I've just stepped out of high school in the 70s. Turtlenecks always work. You can wear them under things, you can wear them on their own. They're just so cute. Graphic tees and ringer tees in specific, like this is an Urban Outfitters Led Zeppelin top, but it feels cute. I struggle a lot with tops, kind of just always lean towards turtlenecks or mock necks or something like that, because that to me is the easiest looking vintage thing. Accessories take an outfit from nothing to something. I cannot stress enough how much accessories will do wonders for an outfit. Big jewellery, chunky rings, like chunky bracelets and like bangles, the 60s white hoop earrings, big sunglasses. It will literally transform an outfit. Berets are also a very good like vintage little addition. I think something in your hair like a beret or a scarf or something like that is super cute. I think neckties as well. I have a lot of like skinny scarves from the Hippie Shake and the Chain, and I tie them up as like little bows around my neck and make them like little ascots, and they look really cute. I think that's such a cute little addition to any outfit. Waistcoats. Waistcoats! Oh my god, when I discovered waistcoats, it literally changed my life. There was this one waistcoat that I wanted for literally so long. I saw Millie wearing it and I was like, I need one exactly the same. And I managed to find one, and it's like, it just adds such a like lift to any outfit. I also have a couple of tassel waistcoats, which again is super like hippie, and I love it. I think that's such a good 60s piece. And finally, shoes. I'm a shoe addict. I am a boot addict, actually. I don't have many like normal shoes, but I have so many boots. Platforms, if you're going for like a glam 70s like rock star look, platforms are always a good way to go. I love a platform boot. Platform go-go boots, just knee-high boots. If you're going for the like mini skirt look, knee-high boots, lace up knee-high boots, suede knee-high boots, just knee-high boot. If you don't really like boots or heels of any kind, Converse are also obviously very vintage. Converse have been around since like the 50s. Converse is a great way to go. You don't have to be wearing heels and boots the whole time. So you're in the thrift shop and you're like, right, I want to find a button-up shirt and a mini skirt and like some boots, I don't know, whatever. Look for patterns too. Obviously plain turtlenecks, plain shirts, it's still like great. If you can find a funky pattern though, something with big florals or even small florals, or something with like this psychedelic paisley pattern. I think paisley is such a good pattern to try and find. It's such a vintage looking pattern. Anything geometric, stripes, like horizontal stripes, that is super 70s looking. Psychedelic patterns, just anything with a funky pattern I gravitate towards. Because even then, if it's not something that's particularly 60s looking, because of the pattern you can sort of incorporate it. And finally, coats. This is where I struggle because I hate wearing a coat because I've never had any decent looking coats that will work with an outfit. Anything like an Afghan or a Penny Lane coat, I think they're originally called Afghan coats because obviously Penny Lane hasn't been around since before the 2000s. The ones with like fur around the cuffs, fur around the trim, like they're very vintage, very 60s and 70s inspired. Any suede, sort of like a suede blazer, suede jacket, very rubber sole era, but also just big furry coats in general. Like Glyn Johns of George Harrison used to wear like really funky big furry coats, which you can still buy to this day, like brand new. So finally, I'm just going to tell you a couple of my favourite places to shop. I do want to make a whole video about these places, so I won't give you I'll just give you names and stuff like that, because I want to make a full video about where I shop and sizing from those different shops and things like that. You can literally get the basics anywhere. You can get the basics from New Look, you can get the basics from Primark, you can get them anywhere. All of my turtlenecks I buy from Primark. I've bought some really great high-waisted jeans from Primark before. Like you can get the basics literally anywhere. But these shops are vintage inspired, or they sell true vintage, or they have like a 60s and 70s sort of flair. So these are my favourite places to go when you have a little bit more money. Obviously the hippie shake, I'm always an advocate for the hippie shake. I'm always wearing the hippie shake. Always. The chain, again, the chain are my favourite. You've got Boogie Child, you've got the Octopus's Garden, Garden Belt for a more boho sort of vibe. Psychic Boutique is another Instagram shop that's sort of like pops up and everybody's loving, and I think they're great. 70s Soul. I love 70s Soul. Madcap are more like mod inspired, but they have some really amazing pieces. All of these places are on Instagram, they all have their own stores. I'll leave all of them linked below, but like I say, I want to make a whole video about these shops, so I will do that in the future. But also, if you don't have loads of money, try places like Depop and eBay and Vinted and marketplaces. You can type in like hippie shake into Vinted and you'll get hippie shake pieces for like less than they sell them on their website. You can even get some old hippie shake pieces that don't even exist anymore. I honestly think the best way to start is to copy other people's outfits. That's how I did it. I started looking at like Millie's Instagram and being like, I want to wear that outfit, so I bought things to recreate her outfit. And that's how I realised which pieces I liked, which pieces I didn't, what suited my body. You know, I think there's no harm in like copying people a little bit. I feel like I've talked for so long. I've never talked to camera for this long before. That's how I started dressing vintage and how you can too. And then we'll all be little vintage buddies together. Like I said, if you want to go and follow me on Instagram, please do. I've left all the links to all of the girls that I mentioned. Go and follow their Instagram pages because you will not regret it. Go and have a look at all the shops. Again, I will make a whole video all about where to shop. I hope this helped, and I would love to see your cute little vintage outfits. I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. Okay, bye!